Most people think their home is a fortress, solid walls, secure locks, running water, a soft bed, and a Wi-Fi signal strong enough to stream the end of the world in 4K. But the truth is far less comforting. Modern homes are built for convenience, not survival. And when the grid goes down, when panic starts spreading faster than news updates, your home becomes a glass shell pretending to be a bunker. If you ever wonder why disasters turn comfortable neighborhoods into chaos within hours, you're about to find out. Because the danger isn't outside your house, it's hidden inside it. The first weakness shows itself the moment the lights go out. People assume a blackout is just an inconvenience, a spoiled fridge, a dead phone, a few candles. What they don't realize is that the entire skeleton of the house depends on the electricity in quiet, invisible ways. Your ventilation, your heating, your water pressure, even your security system. They're all powered by a grid that fails far more easily than anyone admits. When power dies, the home doesn't gently degrade. It snaps into a primitive, vulnerable version of itself. Air gets stale as HVAC systems shut down. Temperatures drop or rise like you're suddenly living outdoors. Water pressure weakens. Sump pumps stop working. Basement moisture creeps up without resistance. Within hours, a usually harmless house becomes a habitat that works against you. A blackout isn't darkness. It's a chain reaction of silent failures. But the second weakness is even more dangerous because it hides behind walls and under floors, the illusion of structural strength. Modern construction is lightweight, optimized, efficient, and terrifyingly fragile when stressed outside its design purpose. A few decades ago, walls were thicker, denser, built with materials that could withstand abuse. Today, we have insulated shells designed to save energy, not survive physical impact. Drywall crumbles, hollow core doors snap, glass shatters with insultingly little persuasion.
And most internal walls have the defensive strength of a cereal box. If society cracks even slightly, if desperation creeps into the neighborhood, if panic turns into aggression, the average home offers about as much resistance as a tent. People imagine intruders as dramatic Hollywood break-ins using brute force. In reality, a determined person with a screwdriver can get inside many homes faster than you can boil water. The scary part? Most homeowners don't realize this until the moment they hear a noise and understand the barrier between inside and outside was always imaginary. The third weakness is psychological. Your home tricks your brain into believing you're safe, and that illusion slows your survival instincts when speed is the only thing that matters. In emergencies, an unprepared mind loses precious minutes debating whether the situation is serious. The walls, the lights, the furniture, the usual smells of your living room, they whisper comforting lies. They tell you everything is normal, even when the power grid is down across your entire city or emergency alerts are silent because networks collapsed. This psychological softness is one of the biggest dangers in modern survival. Our ancestors lived with constant awareness of threats, weather, predators, scarcity. We live with thermostats and grocery delivery apps. When disaster hits, the modern brain hesitates, rationalizes, delays. This hesitation is deadly. Most casualties in blackouts, freezes, heat waves, chemical leaks, or societal cracks don't happen because the person didn't have a tool. They happen because the person didn't take the first signal seriously. A house that makes you feel safe is wonderful until you need to think like someone who isn't. Then comes the fourth weakness, water dependency. Not the water itself, your access to it. People turn on a faucet and think water is simple. It's not. It's powered by a fragile ballet of pumps, pressure systems, purification cycles, and electrically controlled valves. The moment the grid collapses, your tap becomes unpredictable. In some homes, water continues for a few hours. In others, pressure dies within minutes. Toilets lose the ability to refill. Sinks cough air. and hot water becomes a memory the moment heaters lose power. And the most dangerous part? Most households store less than 2 days of drinking water without realizing it.
A surprisingly small number of people have ever tried living 48 hours using only the water physically inside their home. No refills, no taps, no appliances, no cheating. When you try it, the illusion shatters. Dishwashing, cleaning, cooking, hydration, flushing, all of it drains your supply terrifyingly fast. A home can run without internet for weeks. It cannot run without water for 48 hours. When the faucets die, desperation begins. This isn't philosophy, it's physics and biology. Humans dehydrate long before they starve. But the fifth weakness is the one almost nobody talks about because it's not a thing, it's a pattern. Modern homes create a single point of failure in almost every system. Heating often depends on electricity, even if the fuel is gas. Security cameras depend on the router. Refrigerators depend on stable voltage. Medical devices depend on wall outlets. Doors depend on electronic locks. Even cooking depends on components that quietly rely on the grid. Every comfort you enjoy is centralized, interlinked, and vulnerable. When one system fails, others collapse in a cascade. The modern house is built like an elegant tower of cards, efficient until disturbed, catastrophic once the foundation wobbles. Survival used to be distributed. Multiple tools, multiple sources, multiple redundancies. Modern living is the opposite. One invisible thread snaps and half your life support system unravels. Most people assume these weaknesses only matter in disaster movies. They don't. They matter in every ice storm, every heat wave, every blackout, every urban panic, every moment when infrastructure takes even a small step backward. You don't need the apocalypse to expose them. A single transformer overload, a cyber attack on a local grid, a fuel supply interruption, or a bad storm piling on the wrong lines can turn a stable neighborhood into a survival experiment. And if you look at the patterns of collapse worldwide, the homes that fail first aren't the oldest. They're the most modern because they depend on systems that fail quickly and fail hard. But here's the part most people never realize. Each weakness has a countermeasure, and none of them involve turning your house into a bunker or living like you're preparing for doomsday. Strengthening your environment is mostly about awareness. When you understand how your home fails, you start seeing simple, almost effortless ways to give yourself an advantage.
Once you understand the electrical fragility, you stop relying on a single power source for essentials. You learn what can run on low wattage, what can be charged passively, what actually matters at 3 a.m. in a blackout, and what is just a glowing rectangle pretending to be important. Backup lights, manual ventilation options, battery banks, and low-tech alternatives stop being prepper toys. They become common sense. When you recognize the structural weakness, you stop believing that locks are your main protection. You learn how to reinforce entry points intelligently, how to change the angles and visibility around your house, how to use deterrence instead of confrontation, and how to make your home look like the wrong target. Security isn't about turning your home into a fortress. It's about making it unappealing to anyone who doesn't want trouble. When you acknowledge the psychological trap, you train yourself to recognize the early signs of systemic failure. You take small alerts seriously. You don't wait for the authorities to confirm what your instincts already understand. You react faster, prepare earlier, think clearer. Panic loves people who hesitate. It struggles with people who act. When you understand your water vulnerability, you store it, rotate it, filter it, and treat it as the critical resource it is. You learn the difference between consumption water and hygiene water, the physics of pressure systems, and the shocking efficiency of old-school solutions like gravity-fed filtration. Water knowledge is survival knowledge. Almost everything else is optional. And when you see the dangerous single points of failure, you begin to decentralize your home systems, not heavily, not expensively, just intelligently. A backup for heating that doesn't depend on electricity. A backup for cooking that doesn't require a battery. A way to stay informed without the internet. A way to keep food safe without refrigeration. Redundancy isn't paranoia, it's the antidote to fragility. Modern homes fail fast because we built them for a world that never goes wrong. But the world goes wrong all the time. Storms don't care about convenience. Grids don't apologize before collapsing. Society doesn't stay calm when resources become uncertain. A strong home isn't the one with the biggest TV or the heaviest door. It's the one that keeps you functional when everything outside goes sideways. If you understand the hidden weaknesses, you're already ahead of almost everyone. Because survival isn't about living in fear. It's about refusing to be surprised.